Hello. First of all, sorry for the bad audio quality. My usual microphone is broken and I haven't yet worked out why. So, I've been doing some more crashing things. Crash. And I'm sort of crashing stuff together and comparing how it actually happens with how I would like to happen. How I would like it to happen. So you see, sometimes here, whoops, I meant to hit pause. So sometimes some of these crashes results in this sort of split, which I don't really like. And it's just a matter of stuff being in tension and it just pulling apart, like violating the strength limit on a joint of a particular type and it just snapping off. I don't really like that. So what I wanted to do is differentiate between distance joints that are in compression versus those that are in tension. But there's no built-in way of working out whether a joint's in compression. Oh, that was a good one. Whether a joint is in compression or tension. Unity just tells you the reaction force as a result that this joint is producing. So if you've got a lot of reaction force, that means that joint is doing a lot of work to keep those two objects near each other or apart. And so I didn't have any easy way of working that out. So I built myself a little test setup. So let me just change a bit of code. So I made this very simple test setup. So you've got three blocks coming together. First two crash and the third one crashes into them. So let me just put the breakpoint back in. Now I've got a breakpoint set so when they collide, it triggers. But it doesn't put the text console. Crash. Okay. So the system I came up with was probably obvious to anyone who's thought about it for any length of time and has a maths background, which I technically do, but I've forgotten most of it. Was to look at the relationship between the two objects that were coming together and the resultant force. So if the relative position vector of the two objects was under 90 degrees from the resultant force, then it is in tension, because the reaction vector is trying to pull them back towards each other. So in this case, the reaction force is at this point between these two objects, pushing them apart. So it's trying to force this one up and this one down, because this one here has put a bunch of force into the system and is trying to crush them together. So the reaction force is pushing them apart, so I can tell from that the joint is in compression. The other little testy doodad I did was this one to generate a joint in tension. And lo and behold, it's a joint in tension. And this would be something that would be super duper handy to be built into Unity, but it took a bit of fiddling around to get it to work well. So my intent now is to have different behaviors for joints that are crushed together versus those that are pulled apart, because previously I've had a single strength for each type of joint, but obviously things behave differently in compression and in tension. But yeah, mildly interesting to me and probably nobody else. Bye bye.